I happen to know that you're an expert on nitric oxide, which is this Nobel Prize winning molecule that the world in many cases knows nothing about.
That's right.
And yet it is a miraculous, I'm correct, but it's a miraculous molecule. And the truth of the matter is, I mean, nitric oxide is everything from anti-aging to sports performance to fixing erectile dysfunction, like
all of the
in
above.
as many ways as you can imagine. Nitric oxide is a part of that, and I would just love it if teach me whatever you have, and I want the audience to listen to what you have to say about how does nitric oxide just change the game.
Well, you know, I've spent 25 years in the basic sciences in academia as a professor of medicine, really studying nitric oxide, how the human body makes it, what goes wrong in people that have lost the ability to make it, and then how do we fix that? How do we correct that? Because you touched on a lot of the high points. It's a vasodilator, so it's a gas that's produced in the lining of the blood vessel, and it dilates the blood vessels, and it basically eliminates the inflammation that we see in the lining of the blood vessels. So vascular inflammation, microinflammation, microvascular inflammation, that's really the earliest stages of cardiovascular disease or atherosclerosis. But, you know, it does so much more. It mobilizes our own stem cells and helps repair and replace dysfunctional cells. It prevents our telomeres from getting shorter, so it extends our lifespan. And perhaps from an performance perspective, it improves mitochondrial function. So it's improving the efficiency of energy production with less oxygen. And it's improving mitochondrial biogenesis. So when we make adequate nitric oxide, we have normal blood flow, we can dilate blood vessels upon demand, we have less inflammation. In fact, some of my patents on a method of reducing inflammation with nitric oxide, lowers oxidative stress, immune dysfunction, everything we see with chronic disease, nitric oxide appears to address it.
I actually want to unpack that last statement because you talked about oxidative stress, and I don't think most people understand exactly what oxidative stress is. It's a word that gets thrown around, particularly in our circles, but it gets used, I think, outside of these circles a little bit more than it used to now. And I tell people, like, oxidative stress is literally the dichotomy of longevity.
That's exactly right.
It's almost a matter of your body deals with oxidative stress through environmental toxins, through everything you can imagine. And the more oxidative stress builds up, eventually your body just can't handle the oxidative load.
That's right.
And then the oxidative stress begins the aging process. And it's like there's a tipping point for most people because when you're young, your body's able to deal with it. And eventually the oxidative stress ends up building up to a point that your body just can't deal with it any longer, right?
Yeah, it's rust. I mean, that's what rust is in the environment. It's an oxidation of the iron.
Yes.
And oxidation is a loss of an electron. So when we become oxidized, we're losing electrons. Antioxidants are electron donors.
Correct.
So we get oxidative stress when we have an imbalance of antioxidants with pro-oxidants. And so what we've looked at biochemically is what are the primary sources of oxidative stress in the cell. And it's NADPH oxidase, it's an uncoupled electron transport chain, and it's actually the enzyme that makes nitric oxide becomes uncoupled and it produces superoxide.
Yes.
So when we look at the three primary sources of oxidative stress in the cell, then how do we fix that? And fortunately, nitric oxide fixes all those. So if you lose the ability to produce nitric oxide, you get overproduction of superoxide from your NADPH oxidase. Your electron transport chain of the mitochondria become uncoupled. Now you're reducing molecular oxygen to superoxide, and we produce superoxide from the enzyme that's supposed to make nitric oxide.
So talk to me about the danger of superoxide, though.
Yeah, so superoxide is an oxygen radical. And so oxygen radicals steal electrons, so they oxidize other molecules.
Which net in effect means that the problem makes the problem bigger.
No, and it's a perpetual reaction because these oxygen radicals, which means that it has an unpaired electron in its outer orbital. So it's always trying to grab another electron to stabilize that configuration. So the only way to stop a radical reaction is with another radical. And nitric oxide is a radical. It's a free radical. But it's different than superoxide because it's a nitrogen-oxygen bond, and there's a polarity. So it's complex physical chemistry. Yeah. So nitric oxide donates an electron, which means it's antioxidant properties. So when nitric oxide donates its electron to superoxide or hydroxyl radical, it neutralizes that free radical, that oxygen radical, and it prevents oxidative stress. So it completely neutralizes the damage.